So I'm Abby Rose. I'm the co-founder of Vidacycle and also Farmerama Radio. So we make apps to support regenerative farming at Vidacycle, and then Farmerama, we share the voices of the regenerative farming movement on a podcast. So I would say soil health is one of the most important things in all of our lives. And it's integral to all of the systems and ecosystems we're all part of. So whether that's the water cycles, nitrogen cycles, carbon cycles, they're all kind of mediated, they all connect in the soil. And so when you have healthy soil, that is reflected in healthy water systems. And you're not getting flooding in nearby towns, you're not getting drought conditions, because the soil actually holds it all. It's this amazing magical web below our feet. And when it's not working, everything just starts to fall apart. The tools that we create, the apps, they're very much about empowering human observation, but using tools to really escalate that, essentially. So it's like, as you're going out with the app, it shows you how to, when you dig a hole, how can you analyze that soil? If you're counting earthworms, like what is a good earthworm score? And we make it easy to record that. And then over time, you start to build up a trend of like, how have your earthworms changed? How has your soil health changed? How has your plant health changed over time? So that, to me, that's key to regenerative farming, because regenerative farming is all about like, what works for this particular place on Earth. And it's slightly different at every farm, so there's no recipe. So you really have to learn what's working where you are. And so the app is kind of the partner in the field, you might say. I think it all starts with looking at your soils and really connecting with and understanding the impact you have and how much our management affects soil. And I've seen many farmers, go dig a hole under a hedge and in the middle of a field and look how different the soil is. And that's the light bulb moment of like, oh wow, I've had a massive impact on this soil. And the stuff under the hedge looks amazing. And then that's the beginning of the journey. That's where you start. And then it's just like a lot of reading, a lot of talking, convening. Coming to Groundswell is vital for that interconnection of like, what's the next bit I need to learn? There's no kind of specific recipe I could give you. Actually, it's your own journey. Everyone's got to go on their own journey. And that's why it's got to be a collective, like, coming together, going back, trying things, coming together, because this is where you build up your network of the regenerative farming community. This is where you meet the people who are already doing it and maybe are just 1 year, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years ahead of you. And you need to be in conversation with those people, because you can't find this information elsewhere, really. Like, you can read books, but you can only get so far with that. You need to be in conversation with people who are trying it here, on this type of clay or in this type of climate. Like, there's so many variables. So it's about coming to build that community who are going to take you on the transition.